Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack open the history books because it turns out there are these incredible, revolutionary giants of science that a lot of us have never even heard of. And I mean, these are people whose work literally changed the world.
Okay, so let me just ask you something right off the bat. Who invented algebra? Just think about it for a second. What's the first name that pops into your head?
All right, how about another one? Who was the first person to really figure out the principles of a camera? You know, the basics of how it all works.
Look, if you're kind of drawing a blank, or maybe you're thinking of some names from, say, the European Renaissance, well, you're going to want to stick around. The real answers might actually surprise you. We're about to count down 5 amazing scientists from the Islamic Golden Age. And trust me, their discoveries are still shaping our world today. All right, let's kick things off. Coming in at number 5 on our list is the absolute genius mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. So I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine a place where all the smartest people from all over the known world all gathered together. That was Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age. And the epicenter of all that knowledge was this legendary place called the Bayt al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom. And yeah, al-Khwarizmi knew he absolutely had to be a part of it. So how do you even get into the most prestigious intellectual hub on the planet? Well, what he did was, he wrote a paper and then had to publicly defend his ideas in front of a whole panel of other scholars. Sound familiar? It should, because this is basically the origin story of the modern PhD defense. And, spoiler alert, he totally nailed it. He got in. And his work from there was it was monumental. I mean, his book, Al-Jabra wal Muqabala, is where we get the word algebra. Yeah, the whole field is named after his book. But maybe even bigger than that, he's the guy who helped popularize the number system we all use every single day. You know, 1, 2, 3. Before him, Europe was stuck with Roman numerals. And seriously, have you ever tried doing long division with Roman numerals? It's a nightmare. Okay, moving on. Next up, we've got a 2-for-1. We're going to look at 2 incredible minds who completely changed how we understand, 1, the human body, and 2, the very nature of light. So yeah, it's a double header. At number 4, we have Ibn Sina. This guy was a true polymath, you know, a master of a ton of different fields, and his work in medicine was the gold standard for centuries. Then, at number 3, we've got Ibn al-Haytham, a man who revolutionized how we see the world, and I mean that quite literally. Okay, check this out. The incredible thing about Ibn Sina is the insane longevity of his masterpiece, The Canon of Medicine. What made it such a game changer was how systematic it was. He documented the properties of over 760 different medicines in meticulous detail. This wasn't just some book. For more than 600 years, this was the medical textbook used in universities all across Europe. 600 years. That's just mind-blowing. All right, so at the same time, you've got Ibn al-Haytham tackling the mysteries of light. And he did it with this beautifully simple, yet totally brilliant experiment. He takes a completely dark room, pokes one tiny little hole in a wall, and what does he see? An upside-down image of the outside world projected on the opposite wall. Boom, that's it. That one experiment proved light travels in straight lines and basically laid the foundation for every camera that has ever existed. All right, coming in hot at number 2 is a man often called the father of chemistry, Jabir ibn Hayyan. And let me tell you, this guy wasn't working out of a home office. His house was basically the world's first state-of-the-art chemistry lab. And his impact? We still feel it today. For real! He developed basic chemical processes that are still fundamental. Things like distillation, crystallization, filtration, you know, stuff that happens in labs every single day. Plus, he discovered key chemicals like sulfuric acid and nitric acid. These are absolute cornerstones of modern science and industry. We're talking foundational stuff here.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Our number 1 unseen giant of science. It's the incredible, the unbelievable polymath, Abu Rayhan al-Biruni. And listen, if you thought the other 4 were impressive, just wait. Al-Biruni was on a whole other level.
I mean, where do you even start with this guy? He was a master of physics, digging into concepts like density and gravity way, way ahead of his time. But that wasn't enough for him. He was also a pioneer in mathematics, coming up with brilliant new solutions in trigonometry.
And what did he do with all that math? He pointed it to the heavens as a world-class astronomer, mapping the stars and calculating the size of the Earth with just breathtaking accuracy. Oh, and in his spare time, he was also a historian and an anthropologist, documenting the cultures he met on his travels. Seriously, people talk about a Renaissance man. This guy was the living, breathing definition of it centuries before the Renaissance even began.
Just look at this. This really shows you how far ahead of the curve he was. We're talking around the year 1000 AD, and this guy is arguing that the Earth spins on its own axis. That idea wouldn't really catch on in Europe for another 500 years with Copernicus. He suggested that light travels way, way faster than sound. He even nailed down how longitudes and latitudes work. It's just staggering. He was playing a completely different game than everyone else.
So, okay, we've just walked through the lives of 5 incredible thinkers. What's the point? What's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this matter today?
Well, it matters, because knowing about them completely changes the story we tell ourselves about science. It shows us that this whole idea of progress, it wasn't born in one place or from one culture. It's a global human story. It's a giant, incredible structure built over centuries, with foundations laid by brilliant people from all over the world. People just like the 5 we've talked about.
And it really makes you wonder, right? I mean, the stories of these 5 were almost forgotten by a lot of the world. So how many other giants are out there? How many other brilliant minds in science, in art, in philosophy are just waiting in the pages of history for us to find them?